that the Son of God became Son of Man, that sons of men might become sons of God. He died, he buried, and he resurrected. This is your reality. Say, first he died. First he died, then he was buried, then he resurrected, then he resurrected. Now I'm seated in Christ, in heavenly places, yes, so glory, hallelujah, glory, hallelujah. There is therefore now no condemnation to them that are in Christ Jesus. I am in Christ justified, he is in me glorified. I am forgiven, I have eternal salvation. This is my reality. Now if you are excited that Jesus died for you, let me hear you make some Holy Ghost crazy noise.
Who's coming in the driveway?
Sitting down. Yeah, 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 yeah. Oh God, oh God, oh God, oh God. Jesus mío. Oh God. Jesus mío.
Welcome, guys. Welcome. Marriott, good to see you. Welcome. How are you doing, Marriott? What's going on? Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to Man of Prestige. This is Ola coming to you live from my Empire Pro Studios. We have a fantastic show lined up for you today, of course, as usual. We're going to cover a few trendy topics. We're not just here to gossip. I am your favorite relationship and marriage coach. So we're definitely going to be looking at trendy topics, but we're going to be extracting life and relationship lessons from them. That's what we're here to do. We have a unique angle to what we do here. We do not do blame, shaming, insult, unless, of course, I'm just catching crews. Sometimes I catch crews, so don't mistake that. But ultimately, my goal is to help you, help myself, help you, help myself as well. But we're going to be learning some lessons here today, as usual. Do me a favor, hit the like button, share, subscribe, turn up your notifications so you're notified when we go live. Also, I need you to get used to the videos, because this late night thing, a lot of our audience, they're not really up, or the algorithm is not serving them in the evening. So get used to the notifications, subscribe the notifications. We drop videos at 11 a.m. Eastern Standard Time and 1 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, either of the two. We might actually be reducing that. I'm looking at the numbers closely. I'm analyzing them. I definitely want to make sure that we're being productive, not just shooting blanks. The good news is that we haven't been shooting blanks, to be honest, but I'm looking at my personal productivity so that I can also leverage that time for other things. No, I'm still in Utah, Marriott. I'm still in Utah. She said, singing is hard unless you're with me, of course. It's a gift. Uncle Bendo, good to see you. Uncle Bendo, good to see you. Uncle Bendo, why you say real fam here now? Yeah? Ajao. I'm Aja. I need you to say Prestige fam when you are here, Uncle Bendo. Prestige fam. Help me shout out my Prestige fam. We're the same. All of us are Obodo fam. It's okay. All right, but good to see you all. I have 4 stories to cover today. Okay, I have 4 stories today. We're going to talk about Israel, of course. We're going to talk about Israel. We're also going to talk about Cardi B. We're going to talk about Tyrese. We're going to talk about P Square. Yeah, we're going to talk about those things. So we have a few things, very important lessons I want us to cover today, and I think they are major blind spots for a lot of people. Thank you, Uncle Bendo. Thank you. I think these are major blind spots for a lot of people, both men and women. And of course, the easy angle to go with these conversations is the gender war route. That's the easy, lazy, losers route. But we try to do something better than that here. Okay. So again, get used to the notifications, because I might just decide to start dropping videos only for a short while, okay, because of the nature of and I don't want to mess up the chances of growth too, because if I keep trying to force the algorithm, it can actually work against us. So I'm looking at the numbers closely just to make sure that we're doing what we need to do to serve you guys, the audience. Ultimately, we call it algorithm, but it's just us serving the audience. Shout out to Bumi, good to see you, a long time. All right, so without any further ado, hit the like button, share, subscribe, turn up your notifications so you're notified when we go live. We'll be right back. It's your love that I've been missing. I miss all your hugs, your touching and kissing. Me love on the floor, the couch in the kitchen. One love enough, we done enough. All right, welcome back. So let's talk about Cardi B. Why leave a cheater for another cheater? We've been talking about that for a few days or so, right? So I want us to talk about Cardi B a little bit. Why are we talking about Cardi? Cardi B is a rapper. She's a rapper in America here. She started off as a reality TV show. Again, we don't just gossip here. We're looking for the relationship lessons here, okay? So we're not just gonna gossip about this situation. Actually, we don't gossip at all. We review the trendy topic and then we extract the relationship lessons. So in this case right now, the easy route to go, again, the easy route to say, do you let people live? But they're celebrities. They are our influencers. These are your children's influencers. or your nieces or nephews influencers. And so some things we have to continue to call out, or at least shed some light on angles you might not be looking at. There are two extreme angles you might be looking at here: live or let live. Or you might be extremely judgmental of Cardi B and say, single mother getting pregnant before divorcing. I want us to kind of like leave those two extremes and come somewhere in between. Okay, so with that being said, there's an audio that I want us to review that was dropped onto my feed today, and I found the audio interesting. I said, we've been talking about this, might be the third time we're talking about this. What happened is that she got pregnant, and she's still married to the ex-husband. Although the allegations is that one wants money, he wants his taxes paid off, and she's not letting go. But in the meanwhile, she said, I'm going to keep knocking. And I think in the middle of keep knocking, she got pregnant for Stefan. I forgot his name, Stefan. Right now, it's also been alleged that Stefan has had multiple baby mothers within the last 1 year. Allegations. Okay, so of course now she's gonna get defensive. If you've seen Cardi B in this social media street, she will get defensive. She will get angry. She will try to patch it up like nothing is happening. But the reality is that we're all emotional beings. All of these mishaps will affect you, and especially when a child is coming into the picture. There's going to be consequences. So with choices comes consequences. Yes, we have choices. You can do you can do how you like, you can do your life anyhow you like, but it comes to consequences. No, we should allow you to have your own opinion, but we can also have opinion about your opinions. You see how that works? Yeah, exactly. So let's listen to this and then we'll continue.
From a cheater to go to somebody else, because I was tired of that relationship. It's more than just cheating. That's the thing that y'all don't understand. Y'all don't know half of the shit. Y'all don't know most of the shit. It's more than just cheating. It was a lot. I couldn't take it no more. I had to go to a hospital because I couldn't take it no more. A hospital. You have managers, when you have a management and you have a label. When your management and your label is getting together because they are concerned, it's time to go. When it's affecting your work, when you can't even record, it's time to go. And I left. God damn. I don't know. I just feel like I've been so happy for this pregnancy, and I've been so motivated. I've been pregnant, and I've been motivated, and I've been getting the work because every single day. Why are you separated from a cheater to go to somebody else?
Why are you separated from a cheater to go to someone else? I guess to another cheater, right?
Because I was tired of that relationship. It's more than just cheating.
All right, that point right there, that is more than just cheating. I've always told you guys here, again, some of the easy route to go when we're assessing the situation is gender war route or cheating, right? If we're not talking about cheating, we're talking about how men benefit from relationship more than women, or vice versa. Those are the kind of conversations that are more engaging on the internet. However, the reality is that the issues are deeper than that. The issues are much more complicated than that. What did she say? He said, because it's more than just cheating. And in fact, I put it to you that most women don't leave just because of cheating. Okay? They might leave because of perpetual cheating, perpetual infidelity. They might leave because of repeated behavior. But just because somebody cheated, most people don't leave because of that. Most people, they will beat their chest and say, that's my deal breaker. But most of them are lying. Okay? And I say most because I'm actually trying to be nice. I actually think all, right? Because the last thing in your mind is to try to check your box and say, hey, I said if you cheat, I will just leave. That's the last thing on your mind. Usually the first thing on your mind is like betrayal, shock, right? You don't know what's going on. You're basically shattered. You're destroyed, right? Sometimes it's better to just leave than to stay, because a lot of people that stay also, they're just going to stay to show the betrayer shege. But what did she say? She said, not just cheating. She should have left the first or second time max. That's what Bumi is saying. That man, Mario says, that man could have been impacting our finances. There's a lot more going on, right? I'm also guessing that they were probably beating themselves up. It was probably a situation where they might be pulling out weapons on themselves. These people are crazy. You know, it was probably just that toxic, or maybe nothing physical at all. It could be just that much toxic at an emotional level too, where people are just living as roommates and they can't stand each other, but then kids are watching them in this extreme toxic behavior. Okay, but really what I wanted to extract out of this is that, you know, I've always told you guys that when it feels right, people will do all the wrong things. But how do we measure wrong? You know, moral standards vary from places to places, from dimensions to dimensions, from race to race. It varies from gender to gender. It varies from religion to religion, from generations to generation. Moral standards vary, right? So what is exactly wrong? I'll tell you what's going to be wrong for someone to sit in a situation that feels wrong. If it feels wrong, they are going to align that with the rest of their reality, meaning they might do something that you consider to be wrong, right? So what is considered to be wrong by the general society? You're not supposed to get pregnant if you're still married. You know, shout out to the Gen Z. Gen Z are a little bit more lenient on that. They're like, no, she deserves, yeah, but the reality is that most people are still like, yeah, you're still married. That's crazy, right? But hey, this is an example of what it looks like. It's not just cheating. It's not just the fact that he cheated. That is not enough for her to leave that guy. I think the worst, if it was just cheating, I think the worst thing that Cardi B would have done is probably cheat back on him. I think it was much more than that. I think it was just an extremely toxic situation. Here's the other thing. I don't think it started as extremely toxic from the very end. I think it started as toxic before they got married. But they probably trauma bonded on that toxic behavior. But then at some point, some people get tired. They want to move on from the toxicity. And then at that point, usually one person is just comfortable in that toxicity. My point here is that it's a lot more complex. Any of these relationship issues is a lot more complicated. It's as simple as yourself, taking care of yourself, which is extremely difficult for most people to do, right? But it's a lot more complex than right and wrong. How could you get pregnant? You are addressing the wrong issue. Of course she can get pregnant if she's knocking. Most people that say, how could you get pregnant out of wedlock? They were also knocking. I said knocking. They were knocking before they left a relationship. It's just that they probably didn't get pregnant too. So of course, she's going to get judged. But hey, it is fair. It's the society we find ourselves, right? Mara said, but how do you ensure the next person isn't a cheater? It's not a cheater in the first place. It's not about cheating in the first place. There's only so much time available, energy available to cheat. If people are comfortable, if they are getting value in their relationship, they won't cheat. Now think of value very deeply. Don't think of value as, oh, I was giving value, but they still cheated. No, you're still reading value from your own standpoint. I'm talking about value in the eyes of the other person that cheated. And the fact that they're not getting value is not necessarily your fault. But the point is, there's something else that was missing. There was a void, right? So if people are actually building healthy relationships, if they're actually in a healthy situation, there's only so much time available. They want to spend that time with you rather than cheating, right? So we don't worry about cheating. Cheating is the symptom. It's the symptom of other things going on underneath. It's not necessarily your fault. There are other things you need to be worrying about. You should worry about. So the theme that you're probably going to pay attention to today is that worry about the underlying relationship. Oftentimes, some people will be worried about the marriage and they will leave the relationship aside, and then they are surprised that the marriage is scattered because you basically disconnected from the underlying relationship. You don't care about how the other person sees the relationship. You just like, oh, it's a marriage, you must do the right thing. Okay, but eventually the reality kicks in. All right, so that's what I wanted to cover really quickly on that one today. It's not about cheating. Cheating is bare minimum of what you're not supposed to do. You're not supposed to cheat, steal, and lie. Okay, but I bet you most people already know that, but somehow they do that. So there's more to the conversation. If you want to find out more, all the information are in the description box. Hit the like button, share, subscribe, turn up your notifications so you're notified when we go live. I'll be right back.
It's your love that I've been missing. I miss all your hugs, your touching and kissing. Make love on the floor, the couch in the kitchen. One love enough, we done enough.
All right, welcome back. Let's talk about Tyrese. Tyrese breaks down the pain of his 2 marriages. Okay, so apparently Tyrese has been married twice before. I didn't even know that, but the one that we've talked about the most is the most recent marriage to Samantha Lee, right? The mother of his child. That they're still, I think they might still be dragging it out in court. I don't know if they settled, but they go back and forth with that. But anyway, Tyrese was on Kirk Franklin's new podcast, something like that, where they're talking. I really do think it's a great conversation. When you do get a chance, I'll see if I'll try to remember to link it in the description box. It's really a good conversation between gentlemen, between 2 men. I'm really, really proud of men starting to have this kind of conversations. It's not about right and wrong, as I've always said. It's not about you're right, you're wrong, you're right, I agree, you disagree. It's not about that. It's about rubbing minds together. It's about exercising the mind when it comes to relationships. It's about, hey, actually, I think this was right today, and tomorrow, after assessing a few things, after experience, I'm realizing that maybe it's not that simple. I'm still looking at things. As a matter of fact, I don't have all the answers, but now I'm super self-aware that this issue that we call relationship is not as simple as right and wrong or black or white. Why? Because usually another human being is involved and they have their own opinions. Beyond opinions, they have feelings. Sometimes they feel some kind of way and they don't even know why they feel some kind of way. So it gets very, very complicated, but it gets easier when you start to master the skills of active listening. But again, they're having a conversation, so I'm really happy. So there's a clip I found on TikTok earlier on, and I wanted us to talk about it. Mario said Uncle Tyrese is still talking about this. They're talking though. They want to help other people. They want to help other people. Let me play this clip and then we'll talk. Let's listen in.
I have been married twice. The first marriage was I married her to get a green card. So it was a bootleg marriage. I had a baby on the way, and if the fact that you overstayed your visa,
wow,
you're gonna be deported and be out of here and won't be able to come back in this country. So the moment that her green card went through, we had a plan. Prenup is in place, we filing for divorce. I don't want to be associated to being married. I'm hot and young in these streets, and I want to take advantage of all of this vaginal activity. That's where I was at. So the moment that the green card came in,
vaginal activity,
we had a plan to file for divorce,
this
and that's what it
terms,
was.
Don't he? Don't
Okay. Yeah, I had to, vaginal is a medical term. That's just what it is. But the second marriage for me was to my ex now. And you knew Samantha, your wife knew Samantha, and I literally told myself that I am in the presence of a woman that God sent me that I know I'm supposed to be with for the rest of my life.
Do you feel like you let God down?
Here's the thing: when the marriage, when she filed, I didn't arrive at letting God down. For me,
right.
I was wondering, what is God gonna do to me? How am I gonna be punished? Because I never promised her anything.
Wait, ho.
I never promised her anything. Good question. I never promised her anything. He was making those vows. I never promised her anything. If you're not listening carefully enough, you might think he just contradicted himself, but Tyrese is not the kind of guy that you're gonna catch contradicting himself. Okay. As a matter of fact, most of the guys that are resenting how relationship plays out today, or marriage is how it plays out, how they feel is so unfair on the part of the man, you're not going to get them at them being wrong. You're not going to get them at them not telling the truth. That's not how you get them. Okay? All right? Like I've always said, it's 99% truth, there's 1% poison. And you're going to have to be a good listener to catch that 1% poison. And when I say catch it, I mean to get them to understanding, to get them to an understanding where they can not see that they're wrong. That's not the goal. The goal is not to tell them they're wrong. The goal is to get them to see another perspective. You see? Because once you engage in trying to get them to be wrong, you become them. And that's not the goal. The goal is to get to understanding, to get to alignment, right? Alignment. All right. So that alignment is why some people say I'm on the fence sometimes. I'm always actively looking for alignment, because I don't believe it's about right and wrong. I believe it's a misunderstanding. I think there's an alignment already, but we're not able to find it. I think there was an alignment. You end up with a person, you're married to them, right? And then suddenly something starts to discombobulate, right? It's because there's misalignment, right? But how do you find yourself back to the alignment? Well, you're going to have to check your emotions, right? But of course, it's hard to check your emotions if you feel hurt, if you feel betrayed, if you feel like it's all unfair. It's going to be hard to check your emotions. Those are literally your emotions. So listen carefully to what he's saying. He talked about vows, but then at the same time, he said, I didn't promise her nothing. Like, what do you mean? Good question that gentleman asked, because sometimes it's cloudy, but it's okay to say, what do you mean? I've always said that, right?
I exchange vows. That is not God's opinion. That is the word of God. I gave God my word through thick and thin, for better, for worse, through sickness and health, till death do us part. That's the word I gave God. I would commit myself to this person with this contract that I signed with the Lord Jesus Christ. And so I committed to him first of what I would do on behalf of this sanctuary, of this marriage.
Got you.
And so my fear was, if this marriage were to fall apart, what happens to my life when this all falls apart? So I was more so worried about him, because I told him I would do this for the rest of my life.
So what was her understanding? Like you said,
She's out.
My understanding was that I was committing to God.
Yeah.
Was her...
Good question, young man. He said, what was her understanding? Right? But again, let me ask you guys in the chat, what else did you catch in everything what else do you think you caught? Or what else did you catch, Jerry? What did you catch in what he has just said? Did you catch anything else? I caught something, and that's the reason why I pulled this up today. What did you catch in everything he has just said so far? Maybe one thing that you feel like, right there, that's the red flag right there. That's why that marriage crumbled. He talked about God, of course. He talked about God. What else did you catch in that? Let me play a little bit more of this video right here. This is the main video right here.
Seen the process, and a lot of women, I'm not saying, I'm not gonna say what your wife was, but they're so joyous about the occasion, and it's really, in society, it's about the woman, and it's about the this, and it's about the that, and she gets what she wants.
I'm waiting for your answers, guys.
Always good. No. I mean, no. I'm just saying societal standards.
Yes.
You know.
I've often said that when the
So
when
what
the
was her
flowers,
perception?
I've often
What
said
was
that
her
when the
perception?
flowers dry up, the horse and carriage that you rented for the day goes away. You break down all the tents, okay, and all these that you didn't put on the plane, paid for all this food, paid for the tent and the ceremony. When everybody leaves and you put that wedding dress in the plastic, if the dress wasn't rented, like the tuxedo for the day, it's gonna be me and you. And what is that?
And exactly. So it's kind of like, it's really down. And
This young man is trying to get him to see something here. Bumi said that Tyrese is not a serious person. I actually think he's too serious. Actually, Tyrese is way too serious to sustain a marriage. in my opinion. He needs to chill. He needs to chill. Mario says he's a lover boy, but he finds younger, hot women every time. That's what you found? Jesus Christ. Oh. All right, let me play a little bit more of this. Let's see if you guys will catch it. I'll play maybe 30 more seconds.
This is just me. Believe the core belief that I have with marriage. Whatever kind of marriage you got, even young, like as far as like, it's down to understanding.
Oh, that's for sure.
And
communication.
everybody is.
It's down to understanding. Okay, he asked her, I said, what was her understanding? In fact, at one point, Tyrese was like, I can't speak for her. I'm like, that sounds like a Gen Z talk. I can't speak for her. We can't be speaking for people. Yeah, actually we can, okay? We might pretend that we can't because we don't want you to be defensive too. But actually, if you pay attention, there are patterns everywhere.
Actually understanding what the other person is understanding, so you can understand the.
No, Tyrese, like forget what she's understanding. The vow was for God. The vow was between me and God. Never mind her. Did you guys not pick that up? Let's keep going.
Same thing, and brick by brick together, then you can't go wrong.
Understanding communication.
My question to you though is, I don't know why she left. It would take a rocket scientist at this point. You don't know about who left.
Tyrese does not know why. Still does not know why his ex-wife left. I could tell you why she left already today. You didn't even know what our understanding was. It looks like you weren't curious enough to know what our understanding was too. You probably knew all of the Bible scriptures of what she's supposed to do, right? All the morals of what she's supposed. You probably know all of that, but our understanding, we don't know. You didn't know. So how could you know why she left? Of course you don't know why she left. You know everything about God's vow, the vow you did between you and God. And then we're just going to pretend there's not another human being involved in that vow and what their understanding was, or if you're on the same page at all. It's not that complicated, but I guess it is. You know.
Meaning my ex. I don't know to this day.
You don't know why she left?
I have no idea. See, I wrote a song on my new album. And the song, a lot of the songs.
I mean, that's a good title of a song. I don't know why she left. Don't you think?
On my album, it's called Beautiful Pain. Mm-hmm. And a lot of song titles on my album is me still struggling to this day with questions that I don't have the answer to.
Did you ask her?
And one of the questions.
Again, did you ask her? No, forget asking her. What do we need to ask her? You don't follow a woman, right? I'm thinking that's what's alpha male style. You don't follow a woman. Did you ask her, why should I follow her so I can become feminized?
From the song was, when was it over for you?
But Tyrese, even that simple question.
Yeah.
That simple question.
Did you ask her?
Of course.
Okay.
I wouldn't be sitting here asking people I don't know.
No, but we've been asking you a few more times though. Oh my God. Oh Lord, let me see. That's why I said he isn't a serious person. Good. So Tyrese is a very smart, intelligent person. And like I've always said, it's not really about if you're smart or intelligent, okay? But I think it's more so about emotional intelligence though. That part of intelligence, right? Where you just know that the other person you're interacting with, no matter how much you want to wrap everything up inside God, it's how you relate with the persons with you is an indication of how much you understand God. If you think you can dismiss, if you can think you can be dismissive about how you relate with the individuals, the people, the relationships around you, if you think that the relationships around you is less than God, your understanding of God, then you're going to miss it because you don't know God. You literally don't know God. If you minimize the relationships around you and your ability to make people around you feel safe, or feel heard, or feel seen. I'm talking to all of us, men or women. If you don't value that at the same level where you would value any scriptures, then you don't know God, and you probably will never know God. Because how are you going to exercise what you're learning from the scriptures, right? And a lot of times, it's not because you're not a smart person. It's a very subtle thing that we do when you just follow religion blindly. That's what I personally picked up. If you picked up anything else from that, please let me know. Put it in the chat in the comment section. Hit the like button, subscribe, turn up your notifications so you're notified when we go live. We'll be right back. All the resources you need is in the description box. I'll be right back.
Girl, it's your love that I've been missing. I miss all your hugs, your touching and kissing. Make love on the floor, the couch in the kitchen. One love enough, we done enough.
All right, welcome back. Let's talk about P Square's Paul, RudeBoy. You know that guy? Paul, the second half of the twin brother P Square. You know, he's been getting dragged by the feminists on social media for ever since, you know, his first marriage broke up. I'm gonna do a quick shout out again to him and his wife, ex-wife. The way they did that, and it was all quiet, and they're raising their children, co-parenting. I just found out today that some men actually resent the term co-parenting. They said it's a Gen Z woke westernized idea. Why? Because they resent the idea that women have the ability to actually dump them. I said that's quite hard. They resent that women have the choice and the option to dump them at will if it's no longer valuable to them. And one of the things that women will say to themselves is like, hey, we can co-parent in peace. We don't have to be together if I no longer want to be in the marriage. Well, nothing, that's true. That's actually a truth. People would like to call a spade a spade. Why is that not the truth? That people actually have the option to actually dump anybody or ghost anybody at will. Now, with choices and options comes consequences, as I said earlier on. As long as everybody is willing to face the consequences of the choices they make, right? Then it's okay. But if somebody doesn't want to be with me personally, it will hurt. It will hurt. Rejection hurts. Rejection breeds obsessions. It's obsessions. Rejection breeds obsession. It will hurt. It will take a minute to get over it. But honestly, knowing what I know, I probably don't want to be with them too. But rejection breeds obsession. So I will have questions like, she's so bonny, so why is it that you don't want to be with me? That will be the first natural knee-jerk reaction answer or answers or conclusion, right? Something is wrong. It's the devil. It is the enemy. Actually, the only real life conclusion is that they don't want to be with you. And I know that hurts. For whatever reasons, usually those reasons have been built over time. But anyway, today we're talking about Paul. So Paul, the wife left him. He found a way. He did something. They settled. He moved on from a 47-year-old man. How old is Paul? To a 24-year-old girl. How old is Paul RudeBoy? Let me find out. He's 43 years old. Sorry, I exaggerated. He's 43 years old. And he's with this young Ola Tux young lady, 25. We just had a baby, not too long ago. They got married and, they're doing their thing. So he's in his second marriage. From the outlook of things, from the public standpoint, I don't see anything wrong. Personally, I don't see anything wrong with somebody moving on and getting married to whoever they want to get married to. But what happened? Why are we talking about them today? Again, the feminists are dragging him by the blockers. Okay? By the blockers. Shout out to Nato who shared the meaning of blockers with me once upon a time. Was it Nato or Chi? Somebody. Anyway, so they were dragging him. I'm gonna pull up the post right now. All right, so he posted this video. This video right here. I actually found the actual video. Posted this beautiful video. Figure 8. Imagine. Figure 8. Hopefully I don't need to. Let me see. Oh, I'm gonna need to refresh before the next segment. That's okay. So he posted this particular picture right here. Let me see, make it bigger so you guys can see. Yeah. This beautiful picture of the wife What's her name? Ivy Ifeoma. Okay. This is the actual post. Happy 25th birthday. Hold on 1 second. Happy 25th birthday to my sweetest and most beautiful, my Ifeoma, my love, my wifey, my angel, my one and only. God's favor as always. I love you, my ayoyo. What does ayoyo mean? Chinye. What does that mean? Anyway, I'm looking at this long text here. I wonder what this long text is for. Let me see. RudeBoy, people have the right to speak out even if their words are critical and not fully verified. And threatening someone for exercising this right is completely unacceptable. You're targeting this lady because she lives in Nigeria. Okay. What lady are they talking about? Let me find out. So there was this post here. Let me show you. Okay, not this post, but this post. So under the post, a person posted, raped, coerced, their domestic help. She's the help. How could she say no? Plus, she was most likely way younger. Okay, so they're referring to how he got this young girl, 25 years old now, right? She must have been, what, 23 at the time? A 23-year-old woman is a grown woman. Ladies, write this down somewhere where you can see it. A 23-year-old woman is, in fact, a woman. Okay? So when you get to some point, you have to just look at some things as fact. It's just what it is. But this person is also right. You're a public figure. It is what it is. You know, you're going to get attacked every now and then. Even if you married a 43-year-old woman, you will still get attacked. And someone like him should be used to that. So somebody said, what the hell? Another person, the same Alaji Oyose, when he was found out, he sent his wife and sister-in-law at the time out of the house. Very nyama nyama. Okay, so they are trying to tell us something. There might be more to this story. You never know. Okay. But from what I remember, I could be wrong, correct me if I'm wrong, I think the wife filed for divorce. Let me see something here. Solomon Bucci said, even if the divorce papers add these details, how do you speak about accusations you cannot prove? Do you guys understand the weight of speaking this way? I pray RudeBoy deals with her. Of course, they will attack Solomon Bucci now. People are always waiting for Solomon Bucci anyway. Anyway, so that's the story so far. Now, some other, okay, this is what they are responding to. RudeBoy said, I hardly reply, but you see this one, Chubby Diva. If you like, go private. Let me see who Chubby Diva is. Yeah, that's the Alaji Ayo person. Okay. Say, Chubby Diva, if you like, go private. Leave X. I will find you. I will use every necessary means, power, resources, and money. You will face the law. I will use you to set an example. Scapegoat. Your only way out is to leave the surface of this earth and relocate to space. To everyone that brought my attention to her tweet, thank you. All right. So that's the response. And this was how singer Paul Okoye celebrates his wife, Ivy. This is what they were responding to. Okay, so a man is celebrating his wife. You claim to know the background story of how they got together, and then you say something that you can't prove. It is all fair. If they make you face the law, it is what it is. Anyway, let me see here. What else? No, not yet. Not yet. We're not going to Juju yet. Let me see here. Okay, look at this video. You see this video? I guess the surprise video. All right. So what I want to do is I want to go into this comment to see what they're saying. You can't get evidence for grape, Sha, except there's camera or someone else witnessed it. Okay, so once we say that, we're supposed to just believe it happened, right? Exactly, right? That's the sad reality that victims live in. It is a sad reality. But again, who started this fight? This particular fight we're looking at. I mean, I guess you can argue the perpetrator of an offense. You can't prove. Okay, I think we should allow the law to handle it. I just hope there's sudden divine judgment on rapists. Okay, good one. When a rich kirikiri, please maintain this energy. Somebody said 10 toes behind who and who are you? Nigerian feminists are doing what the opposite of feminism is, and it's sad. Well, I can understand the lashback from the experiences of women, ages past, old, centuries into the past. But again, at some point in a society that we all want to live in, where we have sons that may have youthful exuberance sometimes, find themselves in the wrong environment, God forbid. And then we're going to use our solutions to create bigger problems. I don't know where this is going. You go stand 10 toes for kirikiri, no worry. So, of course, not only men, many women in Nigeria does have internalized misogyny. Many women will probably kick back against this. But personally, I'm just a little bit flabbergasted. I'm confused in terms of this kind of topics. I don't know where this is going, where a bunch of chickens, lost-head chickens, will run around rampant, throw accusations anyhow, talk anyhow. Even when they talk on the internet, they don't know how to talk some. They don't know how to be respectful to the people they're talking to. They basically just group everybody together and they are super disrespectful. I wonder what social media is going to look like 5 to 10 years from now. For me personally, I simply don't engage. If I notice you don't know how to talk, I don't engage. Okay? To the extent that some even consider it cowardice. I'm fine, I'm okay with that. I just have too much to lose. It's not worth my time. But most people don't think that way. Most people say, no, you must tell the truth. The truth must be told. And reality is that I'm watching many of them crash out when they engage people that have nothing to lose. So, I don't know. Let's see. I think they aren't referring to the wife. They are referring to the maid. Oh, no, they're not. Oh, I don't know. But they're also insinuating that he's getting with young girls or something like that, right? Who are they talking about? They were under the comment anyway. I will get to the root of the story later on. But anyway, if you're going to throw accusations like that, just know that it's going to come with forces. There's going to be a lot of bumps in the road. Even if the goal is to catch a real criminal. Okay? I think that, okay, did you mean he's a weirdo? Mario said he's a weirdo. Okay. I don't know. If you see the story, please post it in the backstage. Okay. I thought they were talking about the from obviously from the little I can see here, it looks like they were talking about that she used to be a house help. Okay. Now he threw the wife out. Okay. Like I said earlier in the beginning of this segment, it looks like they're trying to tell us something that somebody knows. But again, if you're going to do that, make sure you have proof, because we actually live in a society where there are laws. Even in Nigeria, there are laws, and you have to be willing to face the laws. Okay. Somebody says, see, as she narrated the story like a member of their family. So this is what they're talking about. Let me see here. There's another one I'm looking for. Hold on one second. Okay, so Uloma, this Uloma person said, sleeping with your domestic staff. This is what you were talking about. So, I've never read it anywhere that Ifeoma was a domestic staff. So you're probably right, Marriott. Sleeping with the domestic staff is inherently coercive, no matter how you put it. For consent to be freely given, it must exist without power imbalances, dependence, or fear of repercussions. For me personally, I think I would like to wait for victims to actually say something. I know it's not perfect, okay? But it's the same way that it's not perfect on the other flip side, where anybody can claim, because remember, nobody has equal power anywhere. Anybody can claim, hey, I have less power, so I'm just going to sue you. That's why they have courts, where people can go and prove their cases, okay? For me personally, I don't think it's okay. I don't think it's healthy for anybody to be speaking for victims ahead of the victims. But again, I don't have the full story. But this person is talking a little bit more generic. I'm just going with the generic statement I'm looking at. So for consent to be freely given, it must exist without power imbalances, dependence, or fear of repercussions. Even between the genders, this statement is true. So that cannot defile the statement in itself. Even between two genders in our society, in a patriarchy society, there's power imbalances oftentimes. So that cannot throw everybody in the same box. So it's dangerous, is my point. You ninjas and your daddies are faking predators, and you need to hear it. Men don't like the suggestion that engaging in sexual relationship with subordinates is inherently shaped by power dynamics that render consent cohesive, because it strips away the gray areas that allow them to hide behind the nonsense. I didn't force our excuse. Another person says, I just want Ayo, the intelligent and committed feminist and community builder, the chubby diva, to know that this is all pedestrian noise. Many of us are 10 toes behind her. And then this person's account says, this is a feminist account. Do not follow. I repeat, do not follow. Listen, I'm here for it. I'm just watching it. I do understand the dynamics of both sides of this argument. And I just happen to have sons and a daughter. We shall see. Let me come to the chat. You guys have anything to say after this? Leave your comments, your chats. I have no opinions on this. Just be careful when you bring this into your personal relationships. That's all I'm going to tell you on this platform. When you bring these issues into your personal relationships, be careful. If you have unhealed trauma, talk to someone. Seek help. Seek help. Because everybody in your way is going to collect if you don't seek help, including you yourself.
Sorry.
Seek help if you need help, okay? If you've gone through some very traumatic experience in the past, I'm sorry, but seek help. Seek help, because I think life is still worth living. I understand that some of those experiences are so traumatic that it feels somehow, some way, and a lot of people are just moving with they're just vindictive. The goal, the objective is pure vindictive, not to build our society. Seek help, because yeah, some people actually wait until they have children before they calm down, and that's not fair, because you need to equip yourself. The best time to equip yourself is in the beginning. The next best time is now. Hit like, share, subscribe, turn up your notifications so you are notified when we go live. I'll be right back.
It's your love that I've been missing. I miss all your hugs, your touching and kissing. Make love on the floor, the couch in the kitchen. One love enough, we done enough.
All right, I'm back. I refreshed real quick while we were on that small break. That segment was quite exhausting, I have to be honest with you, Marriott. It's one of those topics. Honestly, I didn't know it was going to be that exhausting. I will generally avoid such topics because I don't feel I'm trained enough to even cover it. And I'm not interested, to be honest with you. I'd rather have professionals handle such cases. It's exhausting. So the best I can tell anybody is to make sure that you're coming into these relationships equipped as much as you can. I know there's no perfection, but as much as you can. Please do not bring modern day feminism into your personal relationships. You will destroy it. I promise you. It's a guarantee. It's a guarantee. All right. It's not because you're wrong. Remember, none of this stuff is about being wrong. It's not about that. It's about the fact that there are 8 billion people here and there's just so many moving variables. And sometimes when you're right, you can still be wrong. I know. What do you mean? I know. Let's just call a spade a spade. No, you're a liar. That's just all that is. All right, my sister, I agree. The topic is not worth it to me. Yeah. All right, so let's talk about Juju. Let's round up with Juju. Juju had some things to say, some interesting things to say about Juju. It's like Tyrese. It's like Tyrese. He will not move on, but I understand. I feel the pain. It is tough when you get dumped. It's not easy. If you never collect shege before, you won't understand. You just like move on. It's because you never collect breakfast before. You too, you should rest. Let's have some empathy. So I'm looking at this video. Let me find it. This video. Let's listen to this video, and then we'll talk about Juju. Juju is Davido's assistant who got dumped by his ex-wife. As you know, we're not just here to talk about all these gossip rumors. We're here to extract relationship and marriage lessons so that you can equip yourself. Even though they're celebrities, they are a reflection of our society. So we try to extract all of the lessons, every lesson we can catch. All right, so let's listen to this. Let's listen to this. Oh, hold on.
So to be this guy.
Let's start all over again. Here you go.
You see, I think to me, I think.
So Juju was on Daddy Freeze's show. Yesterday, they played a video that she was dancing in a club. The ex-wife, Sheila, was dancing in a club. This video right here. All right, so you can see she's dancing. They're in some kind of VIP session. They're dancing. Okay, it doesn't look like a strip club to me. There's some men dancing on the corner with their own drinks in a club. Okay. All right. I don't see what the big deal is, but hey, you know, they say I'm Americanized, so maybe there's a big deal somewhere. So the next thing, at first he posted a screenshot that he had moved on. You know how people say I've moved on, but not really. But they don't add the not really part to it. Yeah, it said, make una leave me alone, I beg. Please leave me alone, please. I don't move on with my life. Okay, somebody sent him a screenshot. Sheila came to the club where I work. She came with a guinea cow friend and some guys. For here, she was already high. This girl, they smoke last night. Okay, so somebody was snitching on Sheila. Hey, rats. Anyway, so of course, after he said, make una leave me alone, I have moved on. He didn't mean it. He didn't mean to say that. Let's see here. So we have this video.
To me, I think divorce is it's supposed to be something that is very painful. As when you are divorced, you're not supposed to you're not meant to be happy. It's supposed to be, this girl, she saw it as a way of promoting her standing, to promote herself. She's not meant to go and be doing interview to monetize interview. They give.
They said if you divorce, you're not supposed to be happy. Divorce is supposed to be a very, very sad thing. This is something gentlemen need to understand. When you see a woman going through a divorce and she's suddenly happy and she's doing her thing and she's flying around the world and she's traveling and it's girl trip every other night, the fact that you think she's happy is a telltale sign that you didn't know what you were doing inside of that marriage. That's a telltale sign that you are as confused as your story. Let's continue.
Advice. In marriage, you didn't stay for 5 months. Now you can advise people now.
Who is laughing?
You go talk to the.
Why is he laughing? Why John of Daddy Freeze is laughing? Why are you laughing? What's funny?
She advised them how not to stay in the marriage for 5 months.
Okay, so she was in the marriage for 5 months. A marriage that you didn't last 5 months. How dare you be happy? According to Isreal DMW Juju. How dare you be happy? How long have they been divorced now? What was the last time that was like 2 years? 1 year? It's a lost cause. Can he ever learn? I doubt it. Anyway, let's keep going.
I'm telling you, this stay for marriage for 5 months. You're not going to advise people. What I don't understand.
He said, why are you that you didn't last 5 months for marriage and you're not advising people?
I don't understand. I don't understand. For church now, in the morning you go carry church to Bible. So sometimes, when people say church thing or something, sometimes they are making sense. You go to church in the morning, carry only Bible, but for night you go club, go turn white, turn white.
You hypocrites! You go to club in the morning and then you go to you hypocrites. Mary said it didn't last either. Agbaya went to look for a small girl and collect. Was she that small? How small was she? But MOP, it's been over a year, right? Is he okay? The girl escaped. Wala. Niku's Pepe Talk says, he's so pained. Guys, check our community page. If you're not following Niku's Pepe's YouTube, go and follow and subscribe. She's covering marriage over there as well. Now your account painful for how long? Only women should be vagina aproko staff. What do you mean vagina? What are you talking about? Salute to you there, and you got me. Respectfully, we are not supposed to listen to anything Israel says. We are too educated for it. That's what you think. You're making an assumption here. That's what you think. Is it a crime to be joyful? She looks like Choma. Is that why he chose her? You see, let me tell you like this. It's very important that we cover stuff like this because they show up in different forms. You might think that no, it's not a dumb guy. He's lame. I didn't want to use the word, but somebody find me a better word than lame. Okay, find me a better, nicer word than lame. Okay, his ideas about relationship are lame, not him. Okay, it's not lame. His ideas about relationships. See, when you look at a divorced woman and she goes out clubbing and she's trying to get over it, that is it. That's the key word is she's trying to get over it. The last thing she wanted to do is to crash that marriage. She left that marriage long before you found out. Just know this and know peace. Now, the other way they tend to interpret that is that she was wicked and she left that marriage and she was deceiving you. She was pretending. No, actually, she was just as confused, if not more confused than you. Okay? So if you are going through a situation where your wife is withdrawing and they're withdrawing and then you're questioning, like, if you want to conclude that the direction that marriage is going faster, just think they are pretending. Just think they are wicked and conclude at that point. You know what will happen? It will show. You will become resentful. It will show in your behavior. It will show in how you react to that situation, as opposed to what's going on? Asking questions, approaching understanding. Be obsessed with finding understanding. But then if you never did that in the marriage and the person finally dumps you, it makes sense to me that you continue in that same direction. Continue to think, because now she cannot go clubbing anymore, right? What was she doing? She was dancing. Look at some of the comments. Some of the comments were, let's listen more.
My brother.
Oh, God will be with you.
It's about brother.
Thank you.
The downfall of a man is not the end of his life.
It's not the end of his life.
Yeah.
Exactly. So thank God now. Thank God that the whole world now can be. The whole world now have seen the reason why she left. Yeah. So the whole world now.
The whole world. What is his conclusion? The whole world can now see why she left. What did Tyrese said? I don't know why she left. This one is concluding that the reason why she left was because she was a virgin that just wanted to see outside. She didn't want to be in the circle of Davido anymore. She suddenly, a normal woman, never wanted to be in the circle of Davido anymore. She just wanted to leave you. Somehow she found you, deemed you fit to marry before, and then later on she just wanted to leave, and you don't know why okay, you know why she left. It's because she wants to be clubbing with what's her name again? Ginika. Okay, I'm making a conclusive statement here. At least I'm willing to bet on it. Okay, that girl was running far. Once she found out, like, she wanted to run far. She was not pretending. He probably wasn't listening. Women don't lie, men don't listen. He was not listening. Guess what? He's still not listening. Why? Because of one thing, one word. Okay, one word, kind of like two words. Pride. Coconut head. Pride. That's it right there. Pride. After all, I found her as a virgin. She should know nobody else. Till today, we have gay students looking for virgins. Well, they don't want to spend money on the virgins either, but that's another story for another day. Somebody said, but him or that's Chioma, they go clubbing, wear even exposed clothes. So what actually is his problem? That's the hypocrisy. And they're like, Oga, madam. That's the hypocrisy. It's already been exposed right here. Oh, Kanshan. Oh, Joe. Oh, Wegugu. That's what we're dealing with here. Anyway, let me see here. It's giving obsessed. Somebody said he can never move on and he will remain pained forever and ever. I hope he moves on. I really hope he finds the healing he's looking for. But jumping on Daddy Freeze to talk about your ex? Nah, this is exactly what I think it is. It's obsession. Okay? And it didn't start today. It started before that marriage ended. That's exactly what that girl was running away from. All right? If you're loving in a way that your partner does not feel free, they will run away. It's not if and buts. It is 100% true all the time. Did I just hear when you are divorced, you're not supposed to be happy? So a person was happy in the marriage and decided to divorce, so he or she will be sad. I mean, just look at the thought process. Just look at the angle that he's going. He said it with his mouth, with his full mouth right there. Because she's divorced and happy, that's why it's paining him. If she was divorced and broke. My advice to all the Jujus and Isreal DMW out there is that you actually, these answers that you're looking for, remember Tyrese also is looking for an answer. You don't need those answers. I can tell you what you need to know. You need to know that you don't want these ladies either. You don't really want these ladies. You can't pour from an empty cup. You cannot love other people more than yourself. You can, because that's what obsession is at any point. You're not capable. You don't have the capacity to love this person or to marry them. You just don't. The first sign is that they want to leave you. If they want to leave you, they want to leave you. That's the conclusive fact. In fact, if you're going to dig behind, maybe you want to get this person back. Maybe this is your wife, the mother of your kids. You want them. You need to first of all acknowledge that fact that this person doesn't want to be with you. Well, they were influenced by their friend Ginika. Yes. Then they now concluded as an adult that they don't want to be with you. Oh, it's because of the friend they surround themselves with. So this friend that surround them is her mother. Yes. Okay. You will force me to agree with you now, and I don't mind. Okay.
Well, you're right.
You're right. But she wants out. Acknowledge that first. Acknowledge that first. Everything else will follow, whatever everything else is. If you can't acknowledge that, that's obsession. You know, I'll be very honest with you guys. I didn't understand for when people say, if you love me enough, you will let me go. I would think, I'm like, that's some wicked shit to say to a person that loves you, that wants to be with you. It is wicked. I understand what they mean. I understand juju. If you love me enough, you let me go. It's wicked, but it's true. It's fact. You know, when you get to a point where somebody they're smothered up, they're choked, and they don't mind being wicked, so you can leave them alone. Can we comprehend that? If you love me enough, you will let me go. I know the pain, I know the sting, I can imagine. Right? Somebody you spent your money, you should lock her. You went and married them. Because you thought they were, he thought she was a virgin, by the way. I actually doubt that, but shout out to that young lady. I don't know, okay? But I think he's dumb enough to actually, you can lie to him that you're a virgin. Anyway, somebody that you thought when you spend all your money and you're flashing that person around town. And then suddenly the person wants to leave you. For where? Their papa? Or Bieda? You want to leave for where? You're not going anywhere. You see, once you get to a stage when you start to say, Kaka, somebody corrected me in the comment. I was trying to remember this. Kaka, kekuma jesese, ama pishawa danuni. When you say, if I can't have you, no one can have you. Baba, once you get to that stage, I'm not saying you say it out, because now you will deny it because you never say it in words. Once you notice that your mindset is moving in that direction, respectfully, you are sick. You need to seek help. And I understand it. For a good reason, you might be feeling that way. You feel like you've invested everything into that situation. At that point, it's not healthy. You're not healthy for yourself at that point. You need to move on at that point. If you ever find yourself at that stage where you're saying no, if I can't have you, no one else can have you. I'm talking just mindset. That's all it takes. If you have that small mindset, if you're saying things like, I bought you that iPhone, give me the iPhone because you disagreed last night. If you're doing things like that, you have to start checking yourself. If you're saying, well, I'm going to cut the credit card, I'm going to disconnect the credit cards. It starts with small things, right? If you're saying things, well, I'm going to go sleep in the other room because we disagreed last night. It starts with small things that you don't think is a big deal. That's where it starts from. That's why I said it's not specifically a juju or Israel story. It's the behavior at the core of it. That this is what we call controlling behavior. Some people still don't know the difference between control and controlling behavior. Controlling behavior is about the behavior. Control is control, right? When you lose control, you tend to engage controlling behavior. And then it works even more so against you, because the only reason why you feel the need to engage controlling behavior as a strategy is because you've lost control. And you are not willing to acknowledge that and actually do something so you can gain your power of influence back. Instead, you engage controlling behavior. And then when the person finally dumps you, you're still surprised. Because as far as you're concerned, every woman should just be where the husband puts her. It's 2025. I'm not sure that's going to fly anymore. You're going to actually need to have real power of influence. You're going to actually have to have self-respect for the first time ever. It's not going to be as simple as just because you're a husband. You actually need to have self-respect. So when somebody says, I no longer want to be a part of a situation, you're okay with saying, that's sad. I'm sad. And then go back to the drawing table. Because it's not necessarily the end. If you just calm down, it is not necessarily the end. But clearly, you've choked that person. You choked the life out of them. I'm saying you. Maybe it's not you. Maybe they're struggling. Maybe don't even assume it's about you. Maybe they're struggling with something behind the scenes that it's not necessarily about you. But if you're not willing to listen, if you're just going to engage shaming, insult, blaming, which Juju is still doing, it's going to get worse. Remember, they're going to run further and further away from you, right? Because it's threatening. It threatens their sense of safety. The same thing is true for men. If you're a woman and you don't understand this, that people actually need to feel safe around you, yeah, they will run away from you too. But it just so happened we're talking about Juju right now. Let me come to the chat. Oh, Uncle Beno said, not in all cases, though. I missed what you're talking about there, though, Uncle Beno. Let's see. Yes, he was 40 and she was 23 in 2024. Yeah, but a 40 non-married man before, society allows it. I think they are red flags, but they also take an offense when I say that. I understand why they take an offense. If they care about changing the situation, they will ask questions instead of taking an offense. Sorry. Marry young virgin way never open eye. How market? Why did she leave? Listen, that could have been a 41-year-old woman. She will still leave from everything I'm looking at on his public conduct. That could have been a 51-year-old woman. She will still leave. Trust me on that one. Yeah, she hates fame and a soft life. Suddenly, right? Your sarcasm, Marriott. You're right. He can't admit his part in the demise of the marriage. Yeah. Uncle Beno says, I agree, Israel is red flag, but I won't give Sheila any credit though. See, that's the thing, Uncle Beno. It's not about credit. Yeah, we have different objectives here, Uncle Beno. This objective was, who should we blame? That's that. Now I've always said that here. That's not the objective here. It's about self accountability, self awareness, self. Who they complain? Self. Who they complain? A lot of ladies don't like when I do that here. I've been dragged on Auntie B's platform for that. So, what can you do about it? What do you want to do about this? Right? What do you mean? Just call your brothers to order. I don't even know who the brother is. Like, I'm hearing your side of the story. I'm telling you what you can do about it. You're telling me to call the brother to order. No, self accountability. So the objective, it's never really to credit or who. No, that's not the objective. The objective is understanding relationships. That's in relationships, when one person is wrong, the other person is automatically wrong. Let me rephrase that properly. When one person feels that the other person is wrong, they automatically make themselves wrong, because then the objective is not more about understanding. It's like, let me just point the finger and then let's conclude, and that never works out well, particularly in romantic relationships. What works out well is when you actually put some energy in understanding where the other person is coming from. So even if there's a need for them to realize that they were wrong, it's better when they self-reflect. When you put yourself in a position and they self-reflect and they say, you know what, I was wrong. It feels a lot better for you and the other person, because it's coming from a place of understanding, as opposed to, no, you're wrong. No, you're wrong. What do people do in relationships? They say, no, you lied. You're a liar. People, when I see two people that actually have sex together and they're calling themselves liars, I feel for them, because I know where that came from. The goal at that point is that they need to blame somebody. I could feel it. And I know that it's going to take. It's like pulling teeth to get them to a place where they realize that it is not about who is lying or what's not lying. But what if they really lying? Actually, people actually have different experiences. They can be in the same picture. They can be watching the same classrooms, the same lecture, and they will have two different experiences. No, they just pretend. No, somebody's just the evil. Why are you married to an evil person? That still makes you wrong. And that's what people do inside of relationships, sadly. Naturally so. But that's the point here. We want to push against natural. We want to actually elevate ourselves a little bit higher than that, so that the devil don't get you with that natural stuff. Naturally, we feel like it's unfair. We want to call out the other person, To date, when I listened to Sheila, I listened to a little bit of clip. I was trying to see if I can find it. She didn't say anything against him. In fact, she literally said, I don't want to advise anybody. I'm not going to tell anybody to leave their marriage. She said people comes into her DM all the time and she refuses to tell anybody when to leave their marriage, that they will have the conviction personally if they should stay or they should leave. Another way to say that is, I'm not a professional. Okay, I don't know. I just know when I was done. The reality is that that's actually how it plays out. You will have a personal conviction, But yet, Juju is on that platform saying that She's advising people. You know. So now who's going to tell Juju that no, you're lying? Can I go and tell Juju? No, I can't tell Juju is lying. Juju is literally operating out of the experience that he's having. He's having an experience. What experience? He got dumped. So if I need to speak to Juju, I can't go. First of all, I can't go and tell him he's dumped. He will just get defensive. And then second of all, I can't tell him he's wrong either. He will get defensive, right? I will need to hear his side of the story in a very safe place where I can also use a story to help him get to a different level. That's how it works. The idea that one person, that's one of the biggest mistakes that we do, that we make when it comes to assessing relationships and helping people heal. We tend to focus on who is right and wrong, and it just gets worse. You can even sit there, and that's why some of the traditional counseling doesn't work. You can sit there and you listen to both and say, you want to JB, you want to JB. If you do too much of that, you realize that they might even say, okay, thank you, sir. And they will get back home and they will still show the other person shaggy. Because you never got to the bottom of it. A lot of people think once you call out who is right and wrong, it should be settled. Unfortunately, sometimes that's when the problem actually starts. Yeah, it depends on story by story, Sha. It's case by case always. We actually conversed that yesterday. She knew Isreal wasn't the guy for her, but play along anyways. I need more to that story, Uncle Beno. Let me see. Let's see how much time we got. Okay, we got some time. Uncle Beno, maybe if you have time, please feel free to come up and drop the link. I will need more to that. Under a normal circumstances, a person will not just see goodness and run away from it. I think we can all agree on that. It might look like that, but there's usually more to the story. That's why I ask, where's the rest of the story? You know? Marriott, you are being sarcastic. Stop it. If you find another Chioma lookalike, nobody in their right minds will leave her happy home, especially 5 months into it. It's like you guys are reading my mind here. Isreal wanted to put in the show glass. Grammar out style could work. Okubeno say not saying blame. In this case, both Isreal and Isreal should be equally held accountable. No, there's no equally held accountable in my own word, Sha. To be honest, we can agree to disagree. In my own word, there's no such thing as equally held accountable. The only accountability that works for at least our blueprints that we teach here is self-accountability. Anything else, no poto. Yeah, anything outside of self-accountability, as in like from yourself, like you've looked at the situation and you're like, I'm holding myself accountable here. Yeah, because think about it this way. I held you accountable, but it's missing the self-accountability part. That's just resentment. You know, you might even fear me enough to let it hold another 2 days. We will end up back in the same poto again. Yeah. All right, we have Uncle Beno came to grace the stage. Uncle Beno, talk to me, sir. How are you, sir?
Hey, man of Presi, can you hear me?
Clear, loud and clear. I can hear you, sir.
Okay, cool.
Yeah.
So the point I was making in the comment is that I've heard a lot of people analyze this Israel Sheila situation, and almost 99% of them, they always heap the entire blame on Israel. Now, I am not looking at it from the point of view of who's to blame. That's what I want to clarify. I just feel like when we have issues like this, if we are truly want people to learn from some of these experiences, we have to be balanced. As for me personally, I won't spare that Sheila herself. Israel is a red flag from the get-go. I like to put it to people like this. Would you do it? This is what I mean. I think yesterday when we had this conversation, this particular picture you are using right now, I put that picture up yesterday. And the conversation went for a while before I actually pulled that picture up. And people don't see it coming. You know, we were going back and forth, back and forth, back and forth. And then as soon as I pull out the picture, I now ask, I said, anybody who have seen this picture from the moment they had this pre-wedding picture, and if you don't figure out that something is wrong with this, then you're not going to understand what is really going on here. Israel body language, Israel move, the way Israel conduct himself, the way he stands, the way he do everything. That is not the type of man for this girl standing by her side right now. And surely this girl herself, she knew Israel is not the right guy for him, for her also. So me, I just feel like so far, if we want to continue to say men, we will continue to get the same results. That's why I love it whenever you say self, whenever you emphasize self. I'm of the opinion that look at somebody very well before you step in. It's almost as if you know that there is fire. Then you walk into the fire. Then you come out and say, why did the fire burn me? So that's the point I'm making. This Sheila, and I think I shared one story yesterday. That one is even very closer to home. A lot of people, if anybody from my area, if they're hearing this right now, then we know who I'm referring to. That guy's story looks similar to this Israel. He lives here in the US. He also went to Edo. He got married in Edo. He got married to a pastor's daughter. The father is a popular pastor, the mother is a popular pastor. But the same thing. If that guy stay around you for 10 minutes MOP, you said you go no say, this guy need to be worked on before he should be thinking of dating a girl, not to talk of marriage. But women, we see that this guy is not the perfect match for me. You will go ahead and get married to the guy. And then when you see the fire, then you come out, then everybody jump on the guy. So that's just where I'm coming from. That's why I said in the comment that Israel is a red flag from the get-go, as far as I'm concerned. But this Sheila, nobody should pay her to. Nobody should look at her like, oh, he did that, he did that. They are not matched from the get-go. I'm very big when it comes to ethnicity and tribes. In Nigeria, there are some tribes that when you want to step into it, you should already know what's coming. That just, we can't cover that shit up. We need to admit the way it is what it is. There are some, the way Israel move, Israel is a traditional man. Not be the reason, part of the reason why I call her Juju Israel be that. He's a traditional guy. Israel believes he's going to get married to this girl that will sit at home. He will travel all over. If we left for the people like Israel itself, the guy shouldn't work at all. You just stay at home there. Somebody who say he's looking for a virgin, is that a normal human being? Is that a normal human being? Somebody who say I'm looking for a virgin. It is what it is. And I think I mentioned yesterday when we were having this conversation. When you see a guy who is desperately looking for a virgin, you are already looking at a red flag. Yes, because it's coming from a place of possession. Many guys that say I'm going after a virgin, they are simply looking for, oh, nobody has been there before. I have to be the only person who has been there, and I'll be the only one out. That is the type of guy that will marry you, finish. You go carry security dog, carry everybody, they watch you. You can't even breathe. So that's my point. Israel, na red flag. If you look at this guy, Sheila, now, you can tell they no mash. And they claim that pastor picking or something. I don't even know whatever the crap is.
Why they no mash? Is she too fine? Is that what you're saying? Why they no mash?
Oh my God. MOP, have you take your time to observe Israel in the midst of the video and the rest of the crew guy?
Yeah, it's just as far as I'm odd. No, it's a guy man. You know, it's a guy man. I don't see much to,
okay.
Except when he's talking about Sheila. If you're talking about when he's talking about Sheila, yes. But it's a loyal guy. He's very respectful. He's humble. His boss loves him. I mean, what did you pick up that I didn't pick up?
When you are looking at a guy with old school mentality, who wants to marry a girl with a Gen Z energy. That's just where the problem is right there. In this particular picture you are looking at, when you go to the internet, look at the full picture. See how he's standing alone. I'm a photographer.
So Uncle Beno, even in all of that, you're still blaming. That means I didn't blame Israel. You're the one blaming Israel.
I say I'm not talking about blaming. I am not saying blame. I'm just saying with these two, as much as we want to emphasize what Israel did right, what Israel did wrong, we should also point out Sheila's error.
So let's point out Sheila's error. Maybe in the form of Sheila saw these 5 signs of an Israel juju to avoid, and she went into it. What would be the 5, maybe 3 to 5 signs of Isreal DMW juju for young girls like Sheila to avoid, so that we can also, I guess you call it, holding them accountable? What would be like 3 to 5 signs that should have been avoided?
I don't even need 3 to 5 signs. The thing is, they are not matched. They are not the same. Sheila is educated. Sheila is well brought up. Sheila is a weak, is a soji girl. In fact, according
but she was a virgin.
MOP, you are not matching this thing together. You asked me a question, I'm trying to answer it now.
Mungbo. I'm listening.
So she's an influencer, according to Abby. Abby says Sheila is an influencer. She has been influencing before she met Israel. So the way Israel conduct himself and the way I see this Sheila holding herself, they don't match.
In what way is Israel acting? Is it too holy? Is he acting holier than that? I know it's traditional. You mentioned traditional, right?
Okay. So what else do you want me to mention?
So
when we say somebody is traditional who want to marry a Gen Z, where is the meeting point for them? We get, if it's a traditional man who still embrace some soji vibes, like it's different. But if you have been listening to it, when Israel talk, how do you feel, Baba? Does Israel give you that energy of a guy
let me say this.
Traveling with David all this why? He's a soji, he's a wake-up guy. I don't know if you get what I'm saying.
No, I get what you're saying. I get trust me, I get what you're saying. But let me say this, just back to the foundation of how we started the conversation, right? You see what Mario said here? Said, but now Israel they cry now. I'm sure it's not the first time you heard me say it. I focus on the person that's complaining. Okay, whoever is doing the complaining, I want to help everybody else like that person, because there's, but you're looking for balance. I don't look for balance. I've also said that here in the past. I think balance is actually one of the crookedest thing we can ever do when it comes to these issues, because life no balance already. So it's a losing battle when we're looking for this balance thing. It will only put us in
balance in terms of what, MOP?
In terms of when we're analyzing the situation, we want to analyze it from both sides. Let's give them equal accountability. I don't do that. I don't believe in it either. I believe in who is complaining. I want to give that person a balanced point of view.
You go after the person that's complaining and forget whatever.
I want to empower the person that's complaining.
Okay.
You get what I'm saying? I believe the person that's complaining is my best point of leverage to empower the relationship they are crying about, because I don't have the other person with me. You understand what I'm saying? Because the other person, if we really want balance, the other person have their own version of the story, right? But I'm not addressing. That's why I don't do you're wrong, you're right, because I actually don't know if they're wrong or right. I actually don't think I need to do that. But they can tell me their side of the story, right? Their side of the story they are telling me will not necessarily tell me the truth, but it will give me a good idea of where their mindset is. And that's all I need. You see what I'm saying? That's how I address the issue there. So that's why it might sound like we're giving Israel 99% of the blame, as you mentioned. No, it's
I didn't mention blame, MOP.
No, you did. You got to rewind it.
I'm not blaming
you said not you. You said the whole world you've listened to has given Israel 99% of the blame. That's what you said.
Okay. Me personally, I'm not blaming. All I said is, if we're looking at the issue, all the attention should be on Israel. Israel is living his life.
No, it's not.
He's
That's the
living
point.
In fact,
He's
even
not living
if
his
you say
life.
let's go the blaming route,
Uh-huh.
I can say categorically that Israel is looking for what he wants. The girl that saw him the way he is, that accepted him like that, is the one that will say, "Now your fault." That's where we are different. That's why I cannot never be a relationship.
No, but the girl, I mean, correct me if I'm wrong. The girl has not said it's Israel's fault. Has she?
What?
The girl has not said it's Israel's fault. She just said she don't want to do anymore. Correct me if I'm wrong.
The girl have spoken several times now. You haven't heard from her own. I think my girl.
No. She did not. She never said it's Israel's fault anywhere. That's what I'm saying. Israel has said.
Know their story.
No, I said she's not said that. Correct me if I'm wrong. Now let's pull it up. Maybe we can do a session on the during the weekend.
Then what get her out of the marriage?
See, gotcha. Again, you're looking for fault. It's not about fault, Uncle Beno.
Front and back now, MOP. You say she did say Israel fault. I okay, if it's not Israel fault, Israel not do anything wrong. Then why is she out of the marriage?
Because you don't want to be in the marriage. It's okay. We should make that okay. That it's okay that somebody feel like, okay, this environment is not conducive for me. I feel some type of way. It might be the craziness from my family, from the village family. It might not be the fault of my husband, but this environment is not conducive for me. I need to go. Every man who hears that needs to thank his head. He needs to thank his destiny, because clearly he didn't understand what he put in the house. Do you understand where I'm coming from? That's why I'm trying to get us to gravitate away from the idea of blame. Whose fault? That's why when you say people stay on the fence and they say, hey, I don't know, it just wasn't healthy. There's a reason why they do that. You understand what I'm saying? So when Israel has done literally, in fact, the last thing he said today, he said the whole world can see why she left now. Basically shaming the fact that she was dancing in a club, which doesn't tell us anything. Pointing out that she's an hypocrite. She's a hypocrite for going to church in the morning and then going to club at night.
You were ever groped or inappropriately touched.
That's Israel that has been doing all of that. So it's from the little we know, because these are just public figures, right? It's Israel that we need to focus on empowering, not Israel himself, but all the Israels that will end up in this situation. Because if they continue that behavior, it is not Sheila. They will repeat the same process. They will find another Sheila that will dump them again, another Sheila that will dump them again, and then they will end up in our internet space, and they will be shaming women. And we know that's not healthy, because we don't learn anything from shaming people. You understand what I'm saying? They call it, oh, whose fault is it? Oh, let's just hold them accountable. That's what they call it, but it's essentially shaming at the end of the day, based on the action. That's why. So again, maybe you didn't mean to, but that's the direction you're going. That's why you're looking for balance. That's why you're thinking we're sparing Sheila. No, we're not sparing Sheila. Sheila is not telling us much to work with. You know, the only thing we know is that she ran away from something. That's all we know. As far as we're concerned, she gave an interview. I think most of the interview was basically about her career with Istanbul, Nigeria, or something like that. Even Israel is resentful about that interview. He said she's monetizing the interview. You know, so if I was to focus on that angle, the only thing I can offer from that angle you're coming from, Uncle Beno, is we can say, hey, ladies, you too, wake up. There are 5 signs you need to watch out for. Don't marry this kind of guy. I can see from that angle where you're coming from. I think that would be a good angle, right? So what are the signs of but the signs you gave me a couple of things already, Uncle Beno. You said traditional and you said tribe. And I'm struggling with those 2 signs you gave me, Uncle Beno. Do you want to elaborate? Where's Uncle Beno? I can't see Uncle Beno anymore.
I'm right here. Continue. I'll join you. I'm doing something real quick.
Oh, my question.
Mumbo.
Okay, all right. So Uncle Beno, I think it's at work. Uncle Beno said something about tribe and traditional. We have to be super careful about anything that come off that way. It's not because there's no truth in it, okay? Or it's not because people have not had certain experiences that will make them make conclusive statements like certain tribes don't mesh together. We have to be careful, because the poisons of such conclusion are much greater. The impact of it they are much more greater. Okay, we don't want people walking around and saying, "Oh, Igbo people getting with Yoruba, it just can't work." First of all, it would be a lie. Second of all, people that would take that and run with it, it's probably because they can relate with some kind of toxic experience, and they will perpetuate it. They will never solve their actual problem, but they will actually replicate it, and people will use that to judge people of a certain group. Uncle Beno didn't mention the name, but I think Juju is a Benin guy, it's an Edo guy, you know. And then when we say traditional, they are actually traditional. I'm actually traditional. I'm actually more traditional than the people that claim to be traditional. What that means is that ordinary food, and I like to, like, ideally I like to see eba, I like to see amala, I like to see inyo and obe and rice and stew and dodo, right? And even when I don't have a choice, like for example, right now I'm here working in Utah, I don't have, there's not a lot of African restaurants here, so I've had to make do, work with something. But I'm usually looking for something close to chicken, meat, steak, stuff that I'm familiar with. I'm traditional, not just in food, in every sense. I'm very comfortable in the way I do things. I tend to do the same thing the same way over and over and over again, and I'm very comfortable, and that's what traditional means. But when there's a real need to adapt, when there's a real need to pivot, when something is not working, and then we're exercising pride, and then we call that traditional. No, that is an abuse of word. That's not traditional. A person that cannot adapt and pivot is not traditional. A person that refuses to acknowledge that we're in 2025, they would rather live the way they lived in 1968, it's not a traditional person. That's just pride. If we're talking about relationships, that's something very, very dangerous, because they want to entangle another human being, but in the same token, they want it to be like, just do it my way, my way, my way. There's nothing good about that. And tradition is actually a good thing. Culture, African culture, is actually a good thing. But when we keep painting pictures of a juju who thinks because he wants a virgin, who doesn't know how to dictate a person with a clean lifestyle, and he still calls himself a virgin, he wants a virgin, that's not a traditional man, that's just a lame man. Now we can teach young ladies how to avoid a lame man. Good to see you, Bumi. Talk to me, Bumi. How are you?
Long time.
I know, you abandoned me here. You abandoned your brother. That's not good.
No, I've not been feeling too fine. Thank you.
Yeah.
What touched me, why I even entered, I wanted to share my perspective. From what I've learned, what I've gone through, millennial. So with Sheila and Israel, yes, I mean, over 18 is an adult. I'm not putting any blame, but just from the outside looking in, not that we are in their marriage, so we can't say anything. This one says, that one says. But one thing I'm learning, I tell Auntie B this every time, I'm learning how to be patient, because I'm the type of person that my reflex is to defend, and in defense you start pointing fingers, right? Because I know what I did, I know what my intentions are. But one thing I've noticed from Sheila is that never once did I steal. And I follow her up until recently. I unfollowed her, I think 2 months ago, last month. Did she say anything negative about the man she married and she later divorced? She didn't say anything negative. She just said she's not doing again. She's not happy. And like you said, everybody has the right to change their mind. Now, if somebody says, I'm not interested, does not mean that it's totally over. You just have to analyze and re-strategize. Now, if you give them space and you're willing to work with them, and they still say they don't want to be in that relationship or friendship, then they have the right to. But at least you give them that wiggle room. You're open. But from the moment that marriage hit the internet, that it's collapsing. Israel, from what I've seen online, Israel has been dragged her parents, return this, return that, and she never once badmouthed that guy. I followed her because she was trying to build her. I think but when I followed her, she was under 50K. So I wanted to support her so that she can, get more followership and have more brand deals. That's why I followed her. And I won't say I envy her. I was like, this young girl, the way she's dealing with this now, I cannot be me. Because as Israel is throwing bars, I will throw both. But she never said that. So now to toggle back to why you mentioned them now. A girl has divorced, or a lady has divorced the husband over a year. I think it's close to 2 years. And this man, people are still doing monitoring spirit. I know that Nigeria is terrible, it's misogynistic, it's patriotic, or patriarchy, I don't even know how to say that word now. But just the people that are sending pictures of Sheila to Israel and him, instead of him to say, leave that woman alone, we're no longer together. He went on his page and he was talking about it. All of them, Orinwo, Ogbale, they are not serious. They are not serious. So that you divorce somebody or that people are divorced, that person doesn't have the right to move on. Israel himself, his Oga if not recently that his Oga married, his Oga was filtering up and down. Well, this one, this one. And he sees it. He sees it. If we're going to compare, I said it in the chat. Israel is like Davido. Choma is like Sheila. Choma, you would think that Choma, all of us were saying, we're saying like as if we're with Choma's mind. Choma deserves better. Choma needs to leave Davido. Maybe Choma still stay there. Choma says she doesn't deserve better. It's Davido that she deserves. But looking outside, they don't have the same character. Choma is reserved. Choma is calm. But what we see, it's the same thing. We are not in these people's lives. So all that dragging unnecessarily, going online, going on that the future, I'm really disappointed in him. I mean, I didn't expect anything less, but after many years, I was thinking that he'll be in a better situation. I know the relationship didn't end on his terms, so that's why he's not happy. But at least it's been over a year, close to 2 years. So he should be able to take it now as a man. I'm sure girls are lining up to be with him.
November 20 is about to be 2 years. November 2023. Yeah.
His proximity to Davido, to the lifestyle, I'm sure in Nigeria that is tough. I'm sure girls are lining up. Why is he still paying? He doesn't want that girl to leave.
I have a pushback when she's done.
So I really think that people should. We are invested in whose fault it is. As a man, a woman, this is not like you said, this is not a blaming game. I stopped being invested in people's lives long time ago. I think when I don't even know whose story it was. When somebody came online and said something, it was a celebrity, and then the other person was lying, and the other person gave a receipt. It's the same thing with Cardi B and Offset. I mean, I won't do what she did, but I'm not Cardi B. I'm not in a situation. Like I said, she should have left. And I know you said most women will say cheating, but when you're in a relationship, it's true. When you said it struck me, I was like, that's true. I've always said cheating is my time to cut off. I don't know what I'll do if that, God forbid, happens to me. Because now you're not in a relationship, you're in a marriage. Dynamic is different, especially when there are kids involved. So I can understand it now where people don't leave. But like you said, when the person is a perpetual cheater, or the person is not giving you peace, the person is just verbally abusing you, emotionally. Some people can keep malice. Some people just immediately they step into the room. Your spirit just starts to flare up. I can imagine. Then they are messing up with your money or your family. They're turning people against you. I can only imagine how it must feel. I don't even know how it feels. So I empathize with her for the fact that Offset have said that he cheated on her more than 50 times. He put it on one of his records, and he's still expecting that this woman will sit down and close her leg while he's in one of the houses that Cardi B bought. According to Cardi B, we have money, and he's bringing girls there. She should not move on. My only problem is that she went to get pregnant, but again, it's not my case. I'm not there, so I look at people and I'm empathetic towards their situation because I don't know what they are going through. So I don't judge, but I look at it with grace and I see how I can learn from it because every situation is a learning curve, like you say. So yeah, I'm happy that she's moved on to Cardi B or Sheila, or people that pick the courage up because, like I said, no woman in their right mind will leave a happy home. Relationship, they don't even want to leave. Talk less of marriage. Like you have stood in front of God, you have vowed Ashwebi, you have invited people. And with the stigma of single motherhood, baby mama falling more on the woman's lap, no woman wants to leave a relationship. So a marriage. So if a woman leaves, then I'm like, something must really have prompted her to leave. So that's what I wanted to say.
All right, hold tight. Uncle Beno has a pushback for you. Uncle Beno.
Yeah. Hey, who just speak?
This
Bumi,
is
right?
Bumi.
All right, Madam Bumi, how are you doing now? Okay.
I'm fine. I'm on mute. So I'm fine. How are you?
So, one of my first pushback is this. I've heard people say this several times, and when they say it, it's somehow, I feel somehow anytime I hear it, and it's about the video. I've heard people say over and over again that, oh, Chioma deserves better, but she stay. The question I do ask people, would like to ask you, maybe you can answer that question. When you say Chioma deserves better, who is the better that she should be with? That's
a better person that will not disgrace you the way that we don't disgrace.
Better person now, my sister.
I don't know. I don't know.
That is the problem. There's the reason why.
She never dated anybody publicly that we know outside Davido. She never dated.
She doesn't find anybody who is better than Davido.
Did you hear me when I said all of us say Chioma deserves better, but at the end of the day, she still say Davido is the better person. At the end of the day, it boils down to the person. But me, if Chioma is my friend, not even best friend, because people that are around me, they know I don't. If I have an opinion, most likely now that I'm getting older, you will ask me and I will overtell you. But before my younger self, you don't need to ask me, I will tell you. With that kind of behavior, with kind of behavior that she tolerated from Davido, I will not advise it. I will not tolerate it. Again, I'm not in that situation, but I'm on the outside looking in. Right? That's what I said.
I agree. That behavior, what behavior did she tolerate exactly? Davido having baby outside.
You sound far away.
Right?
You sound far away, Uncle Beno.
Oh, you can hear me? Oh,
very faintly. Okay.
Oh, sorry. I think I thought I was using my this thing. Oh. Can you hear me well now?
Yeah, I can hear you now.
Okay, I'm using my AirPod now. How come you can't say they hear me? Anyway, so what I'm saying is this. What is Davido's crime? His crime, he had baby by multiple women. Is Davido married when he had those baby? No. Now that he's married, if he has baby outside, then I can listen to people when people begin to say, oh, Chioma deserve better. So that has always been my pushback. I'm hearing your music, MOP. It's very loud in my ear. MOP, can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you. I'll turn it down.
Okay.
Yeah.
So that's it about the Davido argument, because I hear that thing all the time, and sometimes I usually feel like, well, how come people are not understanding this, that Davido is like the best thing that can ever happen to Chioma right now. I don't see the replacement. I don't see any guy that you give to Chioma to right now that is going to offer Chioma what Davido is offering Chioma in terms of respect, in terms of love, in terms of wealth, in terms of affluence, in terms of everything. So his crime is he has baby all over the place. So we just need to turn that down. Now coming to Isreal, Juju, and Sheila, honestly speaking, so much is wrong, but I get it. We don't talk about girls these days. We don't talk about them. We talk about them, they come for you. So
why are you taking the easy way out? Why are you taking the way?
No. It's not matter of easy way. It is what MOP. You know how it been. It is what it is.
No, but you know that's not true. You know that's not true.
MOP, you know, say I.
So you saying it? No, you know, if you know something's not true, but you're repeating it, it tells me you're taking the easy way out.
It's not taking easy way out. These days, when women are ready to face the reality, then we can be having the conversation. Right now, I would say let us go with, oh, these men are bad, these men are terrible. But what I do say, and I say over and over again, is this: so far, you choose them. So far, as a girl, you saw the red flag. You know that this guy is not going to work for me. You still went ahead with it. Oh, then I don't feel sorry for you. Whatever happened in that marriage after that, the blame, I will put it back on you if I have to blame. Or if I have to address it, I will say, hey, you did this also. You should have done better. This whole Israel and Sheila saga, I know you were addressing ethnicity and tribe earlier. I'm just saying that when you talk of tribe and electricity and you look at this Sheila and Israel situation, you also need to look at a couple of people who they are from the same area, that they are having the same experience. I will text somebody's name to you. Go and look him up on social media. That dude has been divorced from his wife now. I think it's going like 4 years now. The wife has remarried. The wife even lives in Canada now. This guy is still dragging that wife every market day, or how did they talk him? And they are from the same place, just like this Israel and Sheila. Now, another thing about Israel and Sheila again.
Uncle Beno, I would like to cut this into short. So we need to round up in about 3 minutes.
No problem. Okay, yeah. Another question I will have asked Bumi, if Bumi is here, is that is Bumi aware that Sheila has not returned this guy's bride price, and is still part of the reason why he still got that mouth to be dragging her? Let them return his bride price. If he says shit, let them arrest him. That's it, MOP. Thank you.
All right, Uncle Beno, I appreciate you. You always give us the other perspective. I appreciate you, sir. We'll talk soon. All right. I'll say this just to round up. First of all, what do you guys think? Okay, if you're listening to this, you're watching the replay later on, what do you guys think? I just want to hear your thoughts with regards to this Israel case. But I think the main question that keeps coming to my mind is that a man that would jump at after divorce, almost 2 years, would jump at every opportunity to talk about his ex. How far? How market? What do you think about that? I want to hear your thoughts about that, right? Then also the same question I asked Uncle Beno, I think is a valid angle to also look at things from. What are the 5 signs, 3 to 5 signs you can think of that you can see in like Israel? Because to me, Uncle Beno is right. He's very obvious of a dude to me, but when a woman is thinking marriage and they think it's time for them to settle down and people have convinced them that, yeah, go ahead and do it. I can see how you can end up, but what are the signs to look out for from what we've seen with Israel in public, in his public conduct, that you probably should avoid, or at least ask him to go and seek help, seek counsel, seek coaching before you can move forward? What signs, 3 to 5 signs, can you mention? If you can leave that in the comment section or in the chat, I think everybody else can also learn from each other. Hopefully you've been enlightened, educated. Hit the like button, share, subscribe, turn up your notifications. We'll see you on the next one. Take care. God bless. Peace.
Girl, it's your love that I've been missing. I miss all your hugs, your touching and kissing. Make love on the floor, the couch in the kitchen. One love enough, we done enough.